It's a pretty cool cover, isn't it? I think it is. I really like it actually a lot. So, this is the last new comic book day for I don't even know how long. I don't know. Really sad what's going on right now. So, comic book shops are in a lot of trouble because they're going to be shut down for who even knows how long. And because of that, comic book shops aren't going to be getting new product. And Marvel and DC have not talked about if they're going to go digital only for a few weeks. Now, there's a few problems in them going digital only. Number one, when comic book shops open back up, Diamond is going to ship comic book shops outdated product. Nobody's going to want issue 3 of Wolverine when it's been sitting on digital for 2 months. The other problem is when they get those old books in, Diamond is going to send them a very large bill. Diamond is the distributor of comic books, if you don't know. So they're going to send them a bill for like thousands of dollars. And that's kind of a punch after they've been getting pummeled for however long it's going to be that they're shutting down. I don't know why they're just not going to keep doing what they're doing, because shops, like my shop said they would have been okay doing curbside pickup and shipping. Like that would have been fine and they could have kept paying the bills. No problem doing that. At least mine would have been able to. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if I'm going to do digital videos because I like the physical books. I do know I have a lot of stuff to read and go over. So I'm still going to be making videos. We'll see what happens. But I feel bad for comic book shops. I really do. And I hope that, the good ones, the ones that, really want to push comics and have a good time and like their customers, I hope they'll be okay. But anyway, let's go over what I got. I got Wolverine number 2, X-Men number 9, Batman Curse of the White Knight. This is the last issue. I actually haven't even read these yet. I've just been buying them, and I'm going to read through them all in one shot now that they're done. That's what I've kind of been waiting for. So I'll be doing a video on this complete series, but I won't be doing a video on it today. Like, it's not going to be in the comics that I'm talking about. Amazing Spider-Man number 42. The only reason I'm hanging on to this is because I'm waiting for them to finally talk about who that scorpion-looking guy is. I forget his name. The Power Rangers 49, Giant Size X-Men, Nightcrawler, and Hellions. I do like the X-Men stuff. So even though it's got some weird problems like Wolverine and Cyclops doing butt stuff on the moon, I think that something weird's going on, and I want to see where the story goes. The only problem is, like I've said, you can't just read one book. So we'll get into that. Let's go through these and look at them. Start off with Spider-Man, which actually was pretty good. It doesn't even talk about Spider-Man. It goes over Gog and his kind of backstory and who he is. It actually was a really good story. I was really surprised because Spider-Man's been super hit or miss for a while. It's just so slow. 42 issues, and they haven't really got to the point with this book, which is the problem. But it's a lot better than it has been with Dan Slott. So I give it a pass. It's a very average book. So it comes down to do you want to spend $4 twice a month on this book? There's worse books out there. So it all depends on if you actually like Spider-Man. But this was actually a really good book. I really liked the story that was in this. I haven't really dug a Spider-Man book in a little while. Not since they had the little New York hunt thing where Craven had his little hunt and he turned New York or Central Park into a dome and put a bunch of people in there to hunt. It was a long story, but that was actually a pretty good story. And then there's Power Rangers Necessary Evil 49. Still loving this, but this is my favorite comic book. Luckily, Boom Studios is not doing digital. They're actually just going to shut down. So you're not going to be able to read anything until the presses start back up. So I'm happy for that. This story has still been moving with the Omega Rangers. It ends on a cliffhanger of them in a bad predicament. But this has been consistently the best comic book on shelves, in my opinion. If you like manga and comics, this is kind of like a best of both worlds. And that's not surprising considering the source of Power Rangers comes from, Super Sentai in Japan. So there is that. These are my favorite books. I don't know what to say. And then we have X-Men, the book I love to hate. I love to hate these books because, number one, I love X-Men. Always loved X-Men. Next to Spider-Man, these are the books that I've always read. And I'm enjoying, the mystery of what's going on. However, there's a bunch of problems with every batch of books these comes out. So like I've always said, you can't just read X-Men. Because, well, you could, but there's stuff you're not going to know really what's going on. Because here's the thing. All of these X books right here, they all talk to each other, which hasn't been done in a long time. So if you look at this cover, you can see what's going on. Because you have the Shi'ar Empire. Here's the issue. A lot of the stuff that's happened in New Mutants comes to a head in this book. So if you weren't reading New Mutants at all, you're kind of like wondering, why are they in space? Why are they doing all of this stuff? And you're really going to be a little bit lost. For the most part, though, you could just read this book and I think somewhat be okay, but you won't get everything. And that's the issue. You have to spend a lot of money to be a complete X-Men fan right now, which I don't mind because I've just been, the majority of the comics that I've been reading, I just stopped reading a lot of other books and picked up the X-Men books because I'm interested in where they're going. I think Jonathan Hickman is a good writer. I know some people don't like him. I know your boy Zach does not like this stuff, but I'm sticking with it because I think it's going to go somewhere and I want to see where it goes. Plus, a lot of the other books are really good. This book, not so much. This giant size X-Men. It was cool. So they end up going back to the mansion in Westchester. And there's a little horde of bounty hunter things there. I've seen them before. I don't remember what they're from. The story was just kind of hit or miss. It's a story that needed to get told. It's more of a cash grab. You could have skipped this one if you wanted to. And then there's Hellions, which is an interesting concept. So the thing with Krakoa is all mutants are welcome here, even the problem ones, all the villains, so what are you going to do with them? Because they're kind of chaos. So they come up after doing some Krakoa politics. They decide, well, why don't we just give Mr. Sinister a team and we'll give him kind of all the problem mutants to wield, which is the premise. It's actually not a bad idea. It's kind of interesting. We'll see where it goes. You could skip it. It seems like it's not a necessary book, but I don't know. It's all right. I don't know if I would keep going with it. I might give it 2 or 3 more issues to see where it goes. Kind of a sexy Psylocke there. You don't see too much of that. Psylocke's a very good example of a female character people like, which I always like to point out. So that's pretty much it. And then there's Wolverine, which surprisingly so far, I could say you could read this and not know what's going on. Whereas usually, Wolverine has always been its own book. You don't really need to read any other X-Men books to know what's going on. You still do kind of need to be a little bit aware of what's going on with Krakoa, but I still think you could pick this up and not care about anything else if you just wanted to read a Wolverine book. They're kind of doing the whole old man Logan thing here. He killed his teammates. Well, I'm not 100% sure if he killed them or not. It does look like he did, but this book's very much a mystery book, and we don't know exactly where it's going. So it does look like he killed Jean Grey, which is interesting. So he killed a bunch of people. I don't know. We'll see. It's okay. It's all right. Either way, Power Rangers really good. X-Men is still trucking along. I have a hard time recommending it to people because of the fact that it costs so much money. Look how many books you have to buy. There's 4 books, It's a lot of money. A lot of money for people. But I just like the story, and it appeals to what I'm looking for. You have to ask if you want to read 30 books, 30 X-Men books a month. So that's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully comic book shops turn out okay. I hope they turn out okay. I hope that they can make it through it, because it would be a shame to see comic shops closed. That's a piece of Americana right there. And it sucks. I feel bad for them. So that's pretty much it, guys. Hope you guys are doing okay. Thanks for watching the video. Share it. Throw a like up.